In this video, I show you how to use Lumion to produce orthographic views such as plans, sections and elevations, so you can combine that with the creation of perspectives and keep your initial designs all in one place for maximum efficiency. Let's get into it. To start us off, we're using a model from SketchUp's 3D warehouse, and it's this house in Crozen. I'm probably getting that wrong, but nonetheless, shout out to the creator. And here we are. I've just tidied it up a little bit, took all the trees out and a few other bits and bobs, but I think that'll do us for now. So we'll hit save and we shall jump into Lumion, import the model, lift it up so it's not conflicting with the ground plane, and we're just gonna sorry, I was way off there. We're just gonna add some basic materials. Follow along. I'm just using the inbuilt ones in Lumion, although the materials applied to this aren't too bad actually, but I'd rather use the ones that are in Lumion just so we know it's rendering as it should. I'm not going to add any weathering effects or anything like that. We're just trying to be quite quick with it. Just want to show the principles of this really nice drawing technique. And just while I'm working through this, the purpose of this lesson is efficiency, really, efficiency and speed. When you're working up a concept for a client, it's often it's a very fluid process, very back and forth. And when you're updating all kinds of drawings and visuals and all that sort of stuff, it can get quite tedious. So this is a method of using the orthographic views in Lumion to produce some quick drawings that we know are to a certain scale. They're a proportionate scale because it's been modeled correctly. We can drop some people on, the furniture's obviously to a certain scale, and that'll just give your client a sense of where the project's going. And then when you make changes, you can make it all in 3D and then keep spitting those drawings out from one place. And it keeps you efficient, keeps you slick. And then once you get a certain degree of sign off, then you can start to produce the drawings elsewhere. Maybe take the model into Revit, maybe, or you'll start modeling up in Revit, maybe drawing it in CAD, and so on and so on. But this is a nice little method to keep it in one place and keep you nice and slick, and hopefully nice and profitable. As much as I enjoy what I do, I don't do it for the good of my health. Let me just reduce that grass size so it's not poking through the... Oh, there's a little bit there, isn't it? That's fine. It's not... doesn't want to be a prominent feature anyway. That we're going to be zooming into the floor plan. Let's just change the floor texture. Let's go for a nice... concrete. You're an architect if you don't like it. You're even an architect if you don't like the look of a polished concrete floor. Okay, great. So basic materials applied. The key thing here is to use clip planes. Now we're going to create two, one for the plan and one for the section, but then you can fill your boots with however many you want to make. You can do multiple sections, multiple floor plans, and things like that. Now, with the first clip plane made, let's create a layer, and we'll call that upper ground plan, something like that. Okay, you'll understand what that means in a bit. Then we want to create another one. We want to rotate that. What does that side look like? We want something that's quite interesting. Staircases are always a handy one. Right, so we want that one to be the upper ground plan, and then we want to make a new layer, call that section, and then we pop that one on section, like so. And then in here we can then turn them, sorry, that was the active layer, you can't turn the active layer off. So now we can then turn them off and on. Make sure you, it's actually quite an underused thing in Lumion, those layers. And the reason we want those layers is because, as I said, you at the start of a job, you're pitching this to a client, and you're in Lumion, you're showing these visuals off in the same place. We can then, if I just do realistic again, we can then turn on tools, layer visibility, and then with these last two, we can then pick and choose what we want to show. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So to get the view from that, we want to go architectural, orthographic, hit it to 2D, and then you just want to make sure that you're very precise with your angles. So 90-degree pitch, 0 on the heading. I think let's zoom in a bit more. We don't want the sight to take over too much. I prefer a higher sun, something like that. I think it is nice to just show that little bit of shadowing. You have got the option to use an overcast sun, and then it's a much softer shadow, and that's fine. That's personal preference, but I do quite like a little bit of sharpness on the shadows. I think it just gives it a bit of something. So then we rename that upper ground plan. Let's maybe just have a little play with some of the settings, just a tiny bit, warm it up a little bit. Maybe drop the saturation, actually, given that we're trying to show a drawing. Reflection planes, it's nice to get some reflection planes in, but with it being orthographic, it doesn't show massively, to be honest. Hyperlight is like bounce light, so just boost that. Set your render quality to ultra. Turn these two on, just lift the brightness. And then shadow, just lift the brightness of the shadows a touch. Now with all that, we can then go into copy, effect list, make a new one, a new view, paste that list, and in layer visibility, we can then do something like so. There's a little bit of something going on in the model here. Let me see what the section's telling us. So what's happening here is we're able to kind of see through some elements, and that's just hitting the look and feel of the drawing. Maybe just move it out a touch, something like that. And I do want to just delete let's just turn our sections on, our section toolbar. Let's just get rid of that clutter. Obviously, you know, if this was my project, I'd be spending much more time like than this. I'm just trying to establish some key principles. So let's just refresh that geometry, just so we've not got the clothes hanging up. And I'll show you in a minute. Oh, we're not saved it. Apologies. I'll show you in a sec how we can deal with, you know, being able to see through stuff. Oh, is that not the same? Where are we? Ah, right, we're here. I was peering into the wrong wardrobe by mistake. That's better. Now, here as well, what is nice is we can actually just drop some people in. I'm just doing this at random. Something like that. That's quite terrifying, isn't it? Maybe someone sat down. I've realised that the default material is affecting a lot of things, so let's just keep it white. Just turn the gloss and reflectivity down. Right, so these objects then, what we want to do is we then want to create another layer and call that people. And then we pop all our people on that layer, of course. Like so, and actually just while we're on that sort of subject as well, let's place some trees. I think it's a conifer type of site, isn't it? So let's just add a load in, maybe some lower ones as well. Something like that. I hate that it defaults back to the single placement. So something like that, and then let's go to detailed. For the closer ones. As I say, I'm just being quite quick with it. Right, and then what you want to do is same again, new layer. We could put them on different layers, you know, the existing layers, but just trying to show a bit of best practice. Hold Control, drag, and then pop all them on the tree layer. Then what we can do is in here. Sorry, no, tell a lie. It's actually we want to. In order to be able to select certain things, you need to be in that area in the build mode. So utilities, select that, and then what we want it to say is it gonna affect all layers, or is it just, you know, people and all that sort of stuff. So layer 1 is predominantly where your imports lie. Like so. And then in order to get rid of that person, what we're best doing is actually calling upper floor people. We'll pop it on that. And then in the view here, to turn here off, then you then select that. There we are. Let me just check something. Just want to see what the walls look like. Yeah, so there is a thickness, so we'll come back to that soon. So there's our floor plan, and I think it's great showing people and the shadows and all that sort of stuff. And again, using the layer visibility and the layer settings in the clip and plane, we can control whether we show the trees or not. What an easy way of getting trees in the scene. So you can see the shadowing of the trees there. Now they're not showing, that's because it's placed that on the newly made layer. So let's just select them all again. Just make sure they're on trees. No. Might have to just select them, make sure they're on the tree layer. There we go. Nice. Look at the impact that has. You can also add bits of furniture. Maybe there's a nice car in there. Maybe the owner is a car collector and there's a a gallery. Let's just reduce the scale just for ease. There's a nice gallery type car there. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Let's just put out the people there for these. There we go. So, coming back here, let's just copy the effects. Oh, it's remembered. That's good. It's remembered there. Now the section looks a bit odd because we can't see the cut, right? And that's not to worry. This is actually a good example for what I'm getting at. So tools, layer visibility, and then we want to turn that upper ground floor plan off. And this really epitomizes the point of this lesson, which is you're working up some nice visuals and you want to save a little bit of time. You've got your 3D visuals there, and then you can quickly spit out some floor plans, sections, and the same applies to elevations as well. So to get a little bit of a clearer kind of line weight or division between spaces, because at the minute it is quite hard to tell. So what you need to do is you need to match the view, which isn't too difficult. You cut a section in SketchUp, set it to parallel view, and just do top view. And then with the section toolbar open, you just hit display section fill like that, and then we've got our line work there. We can also set it to hidden line, and then you'd hide things like that. I wasn't expecting that. Export 2D, just call that plan outline. I'll render this off and we'll jump into Photoshop, and I'll show you how to just really round these off. Did also mention that I would demonstrate a little bit of animation here, and a little cool trick is to mess with the direction of the sun. So let's go into movie mode. And we'll just add that one keyframe for now, because I just want to paste that effect in. Then what you want to do is you want to add the sun effect, and it allows you to then create a keyframe at the start and the end. So let's do something like that, and then we type hit create keyframe, then go to the end and hit create keyframe again, and then we'll drop the height and we'll rotate the sun like that. And if you hit play, sorry, I didn't let's go back to that. Rotate it there. I didn't hit keyframe. Let's then go to the end, and then we'll do that. And there you go. See the way the sun's moving as well as lowering like it would in the sky. So that's just a little extra tip, really, that really does animate your orthographic views. I have noticed that these guys are walking as well, so let's just do a quick. I'll just show you how to move one person. So say we want him just ever so slightly, just moving into there like that. that just moves him. It's a little bit awkward, but you see what I'm getting at. You just use that move effect to move certain objects as well, which I think looks great. So to finish us off, we've exported this from SketchUp using plan view settings and just turning it to hidden line, and then just checking the fill in the section toolbox. So then we drag that in, we set it to multiply, and it is a case of just scaling it in. It's nothing too onerous. Something like that. Reduce the opacity to say 50% maybe, something like that. Or if you wanted to keep it at 100, I would encourage you to get rid of any bits of excess. So some of this is a decking. Now, if it was my project, I'd have some of these things in layers in anticipation. So I'd have turned, the decking off and other things like that. So you might want to just go around the perimeter of the build, and I'm just going to be quite quick here, holding shift so it snaps to orthogonal. Something like that, and then multiply. I think that is better, keeping it nice and solid like that. So I think personally that looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. And then the section was looking really weak, I think, from the render. I think it's going to really benefit from this. Something like that. I don't mind that it's given us quite a dark ground area there. But what I don't agree with is the wardrobes. So then what you can do is, I think it's great, you can kind of cherry pick what you do and you don't want to show in the cut. Things like that. You probably wouldn't show the bed. And again, the better way of doing this really is layering the SketchUp model so that you can turn these things off so they don't show on your exported view. I'm showing you a little bit of a hacky way. So I'm just deleting some of that excess kind of line work there, and then you can just see how it becomes instantly legible. When you just have that bit of line work on there. I'd be tempted as well to just lift the lightness of that, just so it feels a little bit more like a section. So there we go. There's how you can do really nice orthographic views all out of Lumion, and you can combine that process with your conceptual design and showing your 3D perspectives to your tutors and or clients. Thanks for watching.